And people, it's Joe, All Leeds TV. It's an absolute pleasure to be asked by We Are Tottenham TV to do a little, answer a few questions really on Spurs' new signing, Jack Clarke. Wonder Kid, being called previously in the past by the Express, and he's lauded by people at Leeds United, by the youth. There has been a bit of a turning of the tide now all of a sudden. You know what football fans are like, they can be a little bit fickle at times, me included, probably you guys as well, but there's a lot of, well, he's maybe not as good as we all first thought. The jury is still out though, let's not kid ourselves. Listen, at the under-23s level, I mean, we won the division we were in this time around, and he absolutely tore it up at that level. But the majority of his time was spent with the first team, be that on the bench or starting. As I say, he played 25 times for Leeds last season, scored 2 goals and assisted a couple as well. Now, in terms of minutes played, it only adds up to 9 games in total in regards to the minutes played, and that's why a lot of Leeds fans at the minute are pretty happy with the fee. I think it was originally mooted at about 8.5, rising to about 13. Maybe now that's started with an initial fee of 10. I'm not entirely sure. I know it's around that mark. Me, I'm a little bit unhappy with the fee. I see, players like David Brooks, Sam Clarke, Maddison, who went from Norwich to Leicester. The fees, you're talking 20 million plus. I think even Clarke went for 12. So 8.5, if that is true, or around the 10 mark, for me is a little bit... it's not great. It's not great in my opinion, but the counter argument to that is, and like a lot of Leeds fans, and you've got to take it on board, listen, yes, he played 25 times, but in terms of the minutes played, it only amassed 9 games. And obviously, since what happened at Middlesbrough, he had a bit of a feint, a bit of a funny turn, had a seizure, and he was off for a few weeks, and we didn't see the same Jack Clarke that came back after that. And I think, to be fair, we heard on Twitter that the deal may have been done back in May after we lost at Derby, and the reason it's taken so long to come out is because Spurs were doing the due diligence. They were checking he was alright because of the feint. So you don't know. I can't see Tottenham signing off on a deal if they don't believe he is fine. But in terms of what I've seen him play, listen, when he came on against Villa, for example, he absolutely tore it up. I think it was El Hamadi who was playing fullback that time, and he had a bit of a field day, scored a lovely goal cutting in from the left. Like I say, he's a winger, he can play either side really, and as his game progresses, you're just going to see more of that, I guess, and to be playing in a Tottenham side with the calibre of players he's going to be playing with, you're going to see his game progress. And any Leeds player really that leaves, I like to see them do well, and I hope he can. But back to that game, as I say, we were 2-0 down against Aston Villa, and he came on at half time for Jack Harrison, who subsequently were getting back on loan from Manchester City, I believe. But listen, he came on, he changed the game. Listen, he scored the goal that was the catalyst for Leeds to go on and win that game 3-2, and what a win it was. And listen, he cut inside and took it on his right foot, and it was a lovely finish. The best time for me though was, you'll all know about it, I'm sick of going on about it, but the whole Spygate saga, the game after we were playing Derby, obviously, and I remember going to the game, and listen, you will actually see this if you check my social media out. On the way to the game, we were in the queue on the supporters bus, and there was a van in front of me, and on that van it said Clarke Removals. I've even got a picture on my Instagram, so make sure you do check it out. I'm not talking tosh. And I just said, this is a sign, this has to be a sign. Anyone who watches the channel will know it's written in the stars, all that sort of stuff. I do get a bit carried away at times. But yeah, Jack Clarke had an absolutely awesome game against Derby. He was the man of the match in his first start. He assisted both goals. Their left back as well, the name escapes me, but the left back that played at the time, after that game, he was then sent back out on loan by Frank Lampard. I think he sent him back to Scotland, seen enough after one game where Jack Clarke absolutely terrorised him for the full 90 minutes. And not long after, Cashley Cole was brought in, who I know you won't be a great fan of, but yeah, he was then brought in not long on after Jack Clarke terrorised the left back at the time. But that was a top quality performance. Listen, he's good, he's tricky, he's what you want from a winger. Pacey, ball close to the feet, great dribbling skills, able to beat a man with ease. But we'll get onto a little bit more of his attributes a little bit later on. Listen, I'd be lying if I said no, but ultimately I can't see it happening. The rumblings we hear on social media, I don't think it's been that good of parting of ways, be it agent, be it club, be it Jack Clarke himself. It hasn't ended in good terms, and that's what I'm led to believe when I hear bits all over social media. So ultimately, I think that clause has been put in there as a bit of a sweetener. I just can't see it happening. Look, the lad's moving to London. It's a great move for him. Why? I just can't see it. I'm sorry to say, any Leeds fans that are watching this and want him back on loan, it ain't going to happen for me. Would I take him back? Yes. Do I think he would add to our team? Yes. Listen, any player under Bielsa gets better, but ultimately, I just can't see it happening, unfortunately, for Leeds United. Look, he's a pacey winger, as I said just a second ago. He can beat a man with ease. The ball, great dribbling skills, always close to his feet. When he's just one of them players. When he gets the ball, you're excited. You're waiting for something to happen. And he, like I said, he's everything you'd want from a winger. He's shown against Villa he's able to cut inside and score lovely goals. The Derby game, he assisted too. He's got everything in his makeup. A lot of Leeds fans, as I say, might have you believe now he's not all that, but for me he is, and I do believe he will progress to be a great player. After his seizure at Borough, he wasn't the same player. He didn't have the same effect. Now, whether or not that's a mental thing, we know this can happen. He could have easily been affected by that. Coming back and thinking, I don't want to overexert myself here, but he wasn't the same player. And at times, when teams did double up on him, he was fan wanting a little bit. But listen, that's inexperience. What we've got to understand, he only played 25 times and he amassed 9 games of football. And as he progresses with age, with experience, when teams do start to double up on him, he's then going to be able to work that out. I think he's just a quintessential winger for me, and a great player for Tottenham to buy. Listen, you asked me this question. I was daunted by the question. The reason being, I don't want to make some outlandish claims and be laughed at, because, as I say, the jury is still out. Can he do it in the Prem? I think he can. Others say he can't. Wasn't the same player after the seizure, etc., etc. But listen, you have always done well. Any players that you've took from us, you've just got to look at Danny Rose and Aaron Lennon. They've done great for you. I mean, what was Aaron Lennon there? 10 years. Danny Rose is still there since 2007. So listen, he could easily have the exact same success that them guys have had. So for me, I wouldn't want to look at a Sterling, for example. He was young, he was raw, couldn't finish for toffee. He's gone under the tutelage of Guardiola. His games come on, and he's able to score now at will at times. If you look at him in his early days, everyone was saying, yeah, everything's there, but end product is gash. But listen, Jack Clarke, for me, has it all there. He could go on to play at that level, but again, the jury's still out. We shall see. For me, yes, it's a great signing for Tottenham. Listen, Tottenham don't buy. Yeah, Tottenham don't buy. This is what I keep saying to Leeds fans as well. It's like, he ain't all that. I say, all you've got to do is look at Tottenham. Tottenham don't buy. They very rarely buy. The fact that they're willing to pay for this shows that they've done their due diligence. You can't tell me either that Marcelo Bielsa and Pochettino, what you've got to remember, they have such a good relationship. I mean, Bielsa, for God's sake, turned up at Pochettino's gaff when they were in Argentina. Woke him up in the middle of the night. Some of your guys might not know this story, but he went in and woke Pochettino up in the middle of the night to have a look at his legs. If you haven't heard that story, make sure you check it out. But basically, Bielsa wanted to bring him to Newell's Old Boys, turned up at his house, went in, let me have a look at your legs, I want to see if you're good enough for me. And that's how the story goes. So they have such a tight relationship. So you can't tell me them two haven't spoke. He's available. Pochettino, what do you think? Bielsa, listen, Poch, you've got a top player there. So listen, will he be a good signing? 100%. Listen, your manager is no mug. I really like Pochettino. I think he's a top coach. And they're not going to sign off on a deal if they don't think it's going to be a good one for me. But he's young, isn't he? He's a young, exciting English talent. In January, City and that we're apparently interested in. Believe me, I think you've got a top talent. You've just got to look at the long line, really, of decent talent that's come out of our club, and unfortunately we're unable to keep hold of them at the minute. But hopefully, you know, we'll go up next time around and we'll be able to, you know, keep these sort of players. We have a long list of players coming off that conveyor belt, and he's just another one. We've got a few more there, but I'm going to keep them to myself because I don't want any more clubs sniffing around. Not that anyone takes any attention at fan channels, but there you go. But no, listen, we are Tottenham TV. That's it from me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you like what you've heard. I think you've got a top player there. Make sure you check out all Leeds TV out on social media, YouTube. Check out myself, Connor, the Ramblings of the South Stand, Oscar. We're all there. As I say, it's just been a pleasure to be asked to do this. So thanks very much for tuning in, and look after Jack. Peace out. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.